Welcome to Pokemon Go Ahead, it's your boy Cheeklay. In today's video, we are going to rank every single event from January 2025 from worst to best. This is a brand new thing I'm doing this year on this channel where I take every single event for each month and I'm going to rank them from best to worst, or worst to best, however I feel like it. But here's how this is going to work. We're going to exclude Max Mondays, we're going to exclude Spotlight Hours, and we're going to exclude Raid Hours. These are all just like different stuff, just little extra things to do weekly. So I'm just not going to bother. And I'm also going to exclude the New Year event because that technically started in December. So it could be a top 10 list. But that happened starting in December and it ended in January. So that event is excluded. Otherwise, it would have been ranked high because of the shiny boost. Now, how am I going to rank these events for this video? Well, it depends on the bonuses. It depends on the feature. It also depends on the positive and the negative feedback from not just me, but from other trainers, whether I was out in person playing with them in certain events, or just by, looking at responses from people on social media, and maybe it was an event that people wanted to participate for. Because if you want a good event, participation for a long period of time or daily is a big thing. So before we determine what was the worst and the best event of January, please be sure to subscribe, hit the bell, and let us know your opinions in the comments below. What was the best event? What was the worst? Did you think all of them were great? Which I highly doubt. Or were they all bleh? So let's go ahead and talk about the first one, which is the worst, because you know what they say. First is the worst. We're going to start with number 9, which is the worst event in my opinion, and that is the Sealed Resolve event. Oh my gosh, I don't even know where to start, but I'm going to just say one positive thing about this event before I go off, and that's the Rookity debut, and that's it. Now, I understand that this was a GVL themed event that features Pokemon that are good in the GVL, but trainers like me that don't do much PvP just don't care much about what was in the spawns, because half of them were community day, half of them were just random, I felt like. And also the bonuses just make no sense to me. There's no catch bonus, no I don't expect every bonus for an event to be perfect, but come on. Magnetic lures featuring common Pokemon and a Rookity that barely shows up. That's a feature, not a bonus. And we also just had a taken over event. Okay, the bonuses were not the biggest thing. My problem was just how to get Rookity and also the $5 tickets. Why would I pay $5 tickets for what was featured in that? For those of you guys that don't know, Rookity is only featured in a couple of ways. It was in a wild spawn, which is pretty surprising for some of you. It was in the same category as Pidgey, Fletchling, Tailo, common birds that should be common to find in the wild. You either A, had to use a magnetic lure for 30 minutes and only 1 or 2 pop up. 3 or more, you're just super lucky. The second way is hatching 2-kilometer eggs, which was the best way to do it. My personal problem was when I was hatching these eggs, the candy amount was super low. I think one gave me 3 candy for a Rookity. And third, and mostly, is the GVL rewards. Because you know how you encounter a Pokemon depending on how many battles you win each set of 5? Well, the thing is, if you don't win 3 out of 5, you have to start all over. And if you do, you encounter a Pokemon, but it's not guaranteed to be a Rookity. And if you catch it, the stats may be bad. Overall, the Sealed Resolve event was just awful. I thought it was awful. I only participated for 3 hours. And then I just moved on. Now at number 8, which is the second worst, is the part 1 of Fashion Week. Now, everyone was expecting Fashion Week because it wasn't a thing in 2024. And previous years, it was a good opportunity to get some shiny costume Pokemon of multiple variety. This, I just kind of felt like it was super bland, and I just did not agree with the field research and the raid bosses. I would give them some points that there were a lot of shiny boosted Pokemon. That's why it's a little bit high, actually way higher than Sealed Resolve. The $5 ticket for that event was also not worth it. You're just getting a lot of Furfrou encounters, and they're obviously not shiny because, well, it's shiny eligible, but I don't think I heard anyone get a shiny Furfrou from that ticket. The field research was the biggest problem for me. I mean, winning 3 raids, we've seen it many times, but it just kind of felt so so expensive. Like, I just got one shiny Dragonite from a 3-star raid by Remote, and I decided to stop. I'm like, we're good. We got it. Move on. But like, I feel like a lot of people were not lucky to get the shiny Dragonite with a costume after doing like 50 to 70 raids. I don't know. I just felt like this Fashion Week event was just... Now, coming in at number 7 is the Lunar New Year event. The Lunar New Year event is mainly the year of the snake, because it's 2025 from the Chinese zodiac sign. I felt like there were some more servant Pokemon like Viper. That could have been a good Pokemon to feature, considering that it's a regional. Also, I kind of felt like there's some room for improvement with the spawns. Like, I felt like Silly Cobra should have been a Pokemon debut, because the Pokemon Company was advertising Silly Cobra during the year of the snake. Pokemon GO just didn't bother dropping it. I'm surprised, because it's the year of the snake. A lot of Gen 8 Pokemon were making Pokemon GO debuts, and Silly Cobra is a Gen 8 snake that could have been featured during the Pokemon GO events for the year of the snake. Like, why? Also, Dunsparce should have evolved into the Dunsparce during this event. It's a serpent Pokemon. That could have been a guaranteed shiny if you had a shiny Dunsparce, but like, come on. Spice up the spawns a little bit. Yes, Gyarados, if you were lucky to at least encounter it, or if you're Fleece King, shiny Gyarados. Now, I will give this event some credit. It is mainly like a lucky friend, lucky trade friendly event, so the bonuses were pretty good. And also, the time research was for free, and it gave you Zygarde cells. I personally wish we could have had more, but that's just me being greedy. And also an anticipated feature where you get daily research for Pokecoins, which I thought was a nice touch. So overall, we had better Lunar New Year events. Now, coming at number 6 is the Mega Gallade Raid Day. I don't really have much to say about this. We got a new Mega, which is pretty great. People love new things, and it was a new thing. The only thing I have to say why it's so in the middle of the list is because we had worse raid days, and then we also had better ones like Mega Lucario. I mean, we got a new Mega, and you know what? Like, I just thought it was good. Thought it was solid. Coming at number 5, so now we're literally in the middle, Ralts Community Day Classic. The reason why I picked this event is simply because it's a classic. And also, it was a perfect timing to have it too, since we just had Mega Gallade before that Community Day. If you didn't get a shiny Gallade, you have a chance to get a shiny male Ralts. So like, it worked out. I will say one critical thing about this, and that's the 1/4 egg hatch distance. Not just because it's the bonus itself, like you have 7, 10, 12 kilometer eggs, that's a good bonus to take advantage of. I just thought it was like an interesting timing because everyone had 2 kilometer eggs before this Community Day started, and they just walked a little bit just to get, well, Carbink. Coming to number 4, we have the Fido Fetch event. Yes, it was a short event, and yes, it took a long time for us to complete the global challenges to get the best bonuses for a limited time. But I gotta say, this was a pretty good main event to start off the year. Pretty much everybody around the world had to aim for nice throws, and the amount that we do for each level, there were 6 levels. If we complete a certain amount, which was a lot, then we could just like get level 2, level 3, and level 4, and we unlock certain features and bonuses, such as extra XP and extra starters for catching Pokemon, extra field research tasks for Pokemon, Pokemon dropping during the event like Hisuian, Growlithe, Brevard, and Fido. Also, Fido was super easy to obtain, which is a plus. Trainers love to get new Pokemon just by doing the old-fashioned encounter in the wild, throw a Pokeball, 1 shake, 2 shake, 3 shake, click, Pokedex entry, all that fun stuff. Despite how short this event was, I love the bonuses we got. 3 times catch XP to 4 times when you like complete level 6. Same with the Stardust bonus and all that. It was great. I love when they give us so much XP and Stardust for an event. You have to admit, it's really nice. Coming at number 3 is Sprigatito Community Day. This was the first Community Day of the year 2025, and the reason, actually more than one reason, I think I have like, okay, two good reasons why I thought this was a better Community Day than Ralts. Number 1, a good Community Day is when they drop a new shiny. I'm just that old-fashioned. I love when they feature Pokemon that are brand new shinies, like the starters, and, well, I think that's it for a while. The second reason is because this community day was in the middle of the Fido Fetch events, and although I wish we would have had 4 times XP and 4 times Catch Stardust, which I know we completed like an hour-ish after community day, we still got 3 times Catch Stardust and 3 times Catch XP instead of just 3 times Catch Stardust, which I'm not going to be mad. The more bonuses we get for a comm day, the more we grind for it. Coming at number 2 is the Fashion Week Taken Over event. Now, I ranked the Fashion Week event super low, but when Team Go Rocket took over, it was completely different. For one, we actually had a lot of costume Pokemon, so they kept the same ones, but they added more. They had the Absol, Krogan with the snapback backwards, Wooper with the beanie, he had the swag, and then also Sneasel, which looks super chill. And then, of course, you also had some, like, good spawns in the wild, like Moraine. I think Skorupi was featured. We had a new Pokemon debut in 12-kilometer eggs that gave trainers a reason to hatch these eggs. I also had Shiny Sandile for the first time, so, like, I'm not gonna count that as a reason why it was the top 2, but, like, I just want to brag. And finally, Shadow Palkia. I love how they just debuted a Shadow Dragon type that's a beast. Because Origin Palkia is a beast of its own. It has its own adventure effect move, but like Shadow Palkia, I wish mine was like higher stats, but like, it's just satisfying. Now, before you guys hear what my number 1 pick is, you guys are probably confused why this Fashion Week Taken Over event was ranked number 2. And I'm gonna list out something highly important that associates with number 1. It is the remote raid feature that was anticipated for a limited time during the Taking Over event all the way through a certain event at the end of the 19th of January was one of the best raiding moments in Pokemon Go history. We can just remote raid for any Shadow Raid that we want. We were Shadow Raid hunting for Registeel remotely, and we also did this. Number 1, Shadow Ho Raid Day. I don't know about you, but I heard a lot of positive things about the Shadow Ho Raid Day. Now, I wish I would have been there in person to go battle in person, but I had a family thing. However, remote raiding was a solution. When they announced that it was going to be not just for the raid day, but also during the period of the Taking Over event, changed everything. People wanted this. And although it was for a limited time, it was a good thing that we got it. I tried so hard for Shadow Mewtwo. I tried for all those weekend ones where like the legendary birds and the Reggies and the legendary beasts. No luck. People would get shiny Shadow legendaries, I wouldn't. That was until the Shadow Ho Raid Day, and oh my gosh, even Mystic 7, if you watched that video, he got like 6 in a row, which was insane. Now I know the shiny raids would have been different for everybody, but I just saw a lot of people get a lot of shiny Shadow legendaries that day. It was one of the best raid days we've had since Mega Lucario, and oh my gosh, if they're gonna do more Shadow Raid days, they have to continue with this limited remote raid limit thing, because that was a great move on Niantic. They need to kind of keep that momentum, because again, positive is good, right? Oh, I've never been so happy about a Shadow Raid in my life. Now, some of you may have some agreements and disagreements. You may think that Shadow Ho Raid Day was the worst event. Okay, at least it's not as bad as the Stilled Resolve event. Or maybe you're the opposite of me and you thought that the Steel Resolve event was so good. Why would you guys think that? But next month we're gonna go over some of the best events of February, and I mean, we're just doing a couple right now. Like, we just got done with one of them, and we're just waiting for a couple more to kind of get a feel of it. Well, anyway, thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Again, subscribe and hit the bell if you're brand new. Peace out.